Hello, welcome. We are the founders of Rentah.com. What is Rentah.com, you ask? I'm glad you asked. Rentah.com is a peer-to-peer rental platform. We allow businesses and individuals alike to rent out any good, space, or service to the community at large at a price of their choosing. Our aim is to become the most inclusive platform for anyone that is planning on joining the shared economy and collaborative consumption movements. Hello, my name is Anup Desai. I'm a first-generation Indian American born in Brooklyn, New York. My background is as a teacher. I studied philosophy. I got my master's in international relations, and then I ended up teaching geography and environmental sciences for my alma maters. I'm an avid traveler. I love going around the world, and one of the first things that I noticed when I ran around the world was the poverty and the inequality. Even though my family came from India and we're now in New York, we lived in two totally different worlds. And just seeing that by a plane trip opened up my eyes. After teaching for many years and being an activist, being part of Occupy Wall Street, I realized I needed to have a change. I had a good friend in Denmark, and Denmark being the happiest place in the world according to the United Nations, I decided I needed to see it, both as a teacher and as someone that wanted to do a great change in the world. And I wanted to see what kind of knowledge I could bring back from Denmark to the United States. And then I took a trip out to Denmark. I was at a festival called the Roskilde Music Festival, and in the process of watching Rihanna and throwing great parties, I had the pleasure to meet Casper Honoré.
Hello, my name is Casper. I am one of the founders of Rentah.com. I am 27 years young. I am born and raised in Denmark. I've been living in New York for the last year or so, where I've been working with Anup. A little about myself. I am a hunter, I'm a cook, I'm a musician, and I love just general people and nature. A couple of years ago I had a web agency where we sold custom tabs for Facebook pages for businesses, and we made a shitload of money. But one day I woke up and realized that my urge to go to work completely disappeared. And I thought if I didn't want to go to my own workplace, it's probably a shitty job. And turns out I was right. So at that same point, one of my friends contacted me with a business proposal which ended up in Rentah.
So it didn't take long after I met Casper where we realized we were kindred spirits. Politically, spiritually, philosophically, we had the same ideas.
Alcohol-wise.
Exactly. Well, Ben Franklin said most great revolutions start in a bar. Ours started in an open field with wonderful music and nice camping chairs. But let me go back. When we realized what our kindred spirit was based on, it was based on inequality. We wanted people to have a fair shot of making it in this world. We think if you waste more, you should pay more. We think if you save more, you should pay less. If you're bringing opportunities to the community, you should be rewarded. That's the whole point of our platform that we're creating, to make it simple to do the good, both for you and the community at large. So we're going to talk now about our main missions, and we have two main missions. The first one being reducing consumption and waste. This is a problem that many people are aware of, but I don't believe they totally understand just how grave a concern it is. Maybe until we start showing them images of the Great Pacific Garbage Patch and the dumps and slums that are existing elsewhere where our products and our produce are being thrown away, maybe we would have a greater understanding. Also, if we had an understanding of the 75 million new people that are being born every single year that want to not only live a decent life, but live the life of a typical American or European. And that is not sustainably possible in the world that we live in. So we're going to have to do a shift in culture. And that's the attitude we want to bring with reducing consumption. That it is cooler, it is smarter, you are a more altruistic individual by reducing consumption and protecting your community.
Our second mission point of Rentah is to keep money local. We want to keep money local because money has shifted from a tool to power and an infinite goal. So the goal today is to get the money. The French economist Thomas Piketty wrote The Capital of the 21st Century, in which he describes a great equation, not for society, but for explaining. The equation is R is greater than G, with R being the rate of money being made by money. So that's one part of money being made only by interest and dividends and investments. So that's rich people making money just because they have money. And the second part is the G, which is the growth rate of money being made by hard labor. So that's you and me getting up every day and working for our salary. So when money has an easier time making money than people have making money, the society has an issue, and that issue is changeable. We can do something about that by just enabling everybody to be a part of the R group. You don't have to own a building to make money off of renting. You can own a car, you can own a house, you can own a blender, or you can know how to play guitar. All of a sudden, everything you own and know is a part of that equation. So wealth is no longer limited to the people with a lot of possessions. Wealth is also the freedom not to having to work 40 hours a week or be able to spend time with your kids or travel. So we want to make sure that money stays local. When I hope to, whatever I believe in, one day I will get a girlfriend and I want to impress her dad. I want to make homemade ice cream. So instead of buying an ice cream machine at Walmart for $100, I knock next door and Anoop answers the door because I just messaged him on Rentah, and I'm going to rent his ice cream maker. I'm going to pay Anoop $5. So not only do I save $95, Anoop makes $5. So that's keeping money local. I'd rather pay Anoop to use his probably underused blender because he never makes ice cream than I would like to pay Walmart for them to send the money off to an offshore bank account. That's our money mission with Rentah.
And not only that, I also make a friend.
Yes, of course. Yes, it's connecting people. It's like we want our neighborhood to feel like a brotherhood, not only some place where people can lie dead in an apartment for 3 months before someone finds out. We want the feeling of camaraderie and community. Back in the days when we lived in tribes, I cared about my neighbor's son not being able to throw a spear, because if he couldn't, I wouldn't eat. So I would teach him. I cared about my fellow human beings. Not only I didn't just want to make sure that they had less than me so I could be the best. Like Louis C.K. in the show, never look in your neighbor's bowl unless it's to make sure they have enough. That's kind of like the soft core philosophy of Rentah as well.
Yes, and then when we put it into the overall vision and we look at sites like GoFundMe, where there are hundreds of thousands of New Yorkers that are asking for help with rent, and we know most people are missing their rent, not by much, by a little bit, because they are working. If we can give them the opportunity to earn a little bit more and save a little bit more, we're also giving them living security.
Yes. I'd like to tell you about where Rentah is at right now and where we see ourselves in a year. So our present is, we have around 20,000 users worldwide in 3 sites. We have Rentah.com, we have Leide.dk, and minlejebolig.dk. Leide.dk translated to rentit.dk, and minlejebolig translated to myapartment.dk. Rentah has around 5,000 users. Half of them uploaded items, which is pretty great. That's better than we did in Denmark the first year. The Danish site is approximately a year to a year and a half ahead of the American site Rentah. After a year or so of testing out the Danish site, we found out that once we're able to find people a home, they will trust us with everything, and they will come back and they will love us. So testing it out, we launched a second edition of the Rented website, as I mentioned, my apartment site, which was basically just taking all the apartments from the rental site and putting that into a dedicated website for apartments. In that way, we've actually been able to be self-sufficient in less than 2 months. So no matter what happens within Rentah, funding or no funding, we will be able to be self-sufficient within approximately a year to a year and a half. The Danish website with apartments took off really fast. Our personal theory behind that is because we know what kind of people comes to our website. We know what kind of stuff they upload, what kind of stuff they look at. Once we know what neighborhood you want to find an apartment, we also know what's important for you in that neighborhood. Do you have kids? Do you have a dog? Do you like to paint? Do you like to roller skate? All those stuff is stuff you can find on Rentah or lighted.dk, rentah.dk. So we'll combine that. So when you're looking for an apartment, we'll also show you what are the dog walking opportunities in the neighborhood. Is there any babysitters? Can you rent those roller skates that you love to use? What is the neighborhood like? On our site, you don't just find an apartment, you find a home, and you find a neighborhood, and you find a home in a neighborhood, which is way more valuable than just looking for a home. So where we are in a year in the American market is approximately same status as we are in Denmark, just times 56, because it happens to be that the American population is 56 times greater than Denmark. So we don't want to come into like the details of the numbers in this video, but if you want the details, we'll be glad to provide to you. We should have a sit down so we can talk about that someday. So just to round off our past, present, and future. An American newspaper wrote a couple of years ago, if you want the American dream, you should go to Denmark. So the American dream, which was a noob, he went to Denmark and he found out the American dream is living in Denmark, and now we brought back the American dream to America.
Well, the American dream is to live in Denmark, but with Ventura County's weather. So I'll add that, as much as I love Denmark.
Yeah.
And so this is who we are, and I guess now you're wondering why we're talking to you. Insert name of company here. Patagonia. Patagonia, you are the people that we admire the most. It is because of your founder, Yvon Chouinard, and every single thing that I've read about you guys being one of the first to have daycare, to have the most equal payment, equal gender, equal opportunity for every single person, and caring not only about the products that you get, but also where you're getting the products. And as a geography professor, that means a great deal to me. That shows just how much you care. I've been swallowing up as much information as I can about you guys and your leadership, your fears on population growth, but also the sway that you have within the communities. How Walmart comes to you guys to learn about how to become more sustainable. In my head, and I'm sure our head, I don't believe there's a partner that is better for us than you guys. Not only do you guys talk the talk, but you walk the walk while having great success. We just really look up to you guys, in all sincerity, and you hire people like Chipper Bro. And we showed up at your offices a couple weeks ago while we were in California. When we came back, we wanted to send you this video when we felt as though our site and who we were up to date. But everyone we met there and everything that we saw further confirmed that you are the people for us.
Yes. That's it.
Thank you.